Welcome back to TM Nerdy. I am, by now, just trust me, I am TM. Today we have a special guest, artist of Stray Dogs, Trish Forstner. Tony Fleece was over on Pop Culture Philosophers with Robbie last week, so we get the pleasure to sit down with the artist of Stray Dogs. But before I get into that, let's bring out my two co-hosts. We got Phable and Big Hearn Collectibles. Station guys. Are you guys pumped for tonight?
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
I know the chat is bumping tonight, and we are so pumped to sit down with Trish Forstner. Not only is she the artist of Stray Dogs, she's also the artist over on some hits from My Little Pony.
We have to bring that one out.
Yeah.
Somewhere over there. Can't wait.
But without further ado, Phable, do you want to introduce our guest tonight?
Coming out tonight is Trish Forstner, the artist of Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs is a big deal right now. A lot of people are into it, and her art is a big part of it. So, let's bring her out. Let's give her a nice welcome. Trish Forstner.
Yay!
Yay!
Station.
Hey, fellas.
Station.
Everybody's. That's right. I had to remember what that was from.
Ask Tony, who will let you know what that's from. He knows he's down with the station.
Well, I'll have to try and remember. Dang, fellas. I feel like I'm not on the. Yeah, see, okay, Bill and Ted. I'm not even wearing the appropriate shirt. I have the same shirt that's this color that has Bill and Ted on it.
Oh,
Dang.
nice.
Yeah, I'm just not a wizard.
Great guess.
Yeah, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We're so excited to have you here tonight. Pick your brain of how you got started in this industry. I know Stray Dogs was kind of your forte into like your own kind of artist book. You did a little bit of work at My Little Pony, but like, let us know how you got into this industry.
Well, my start was kind of by accident. Well, it wasn't an accident. It was like you guys have heard of BronyCons, right?
Yes.
Brony convention. Okay.
Yes.
So I worked on a Brony convention for 7 years. It was called BronyCon. I did artwork for them. I was their art director. We did a lot of signage, a lot of cool stuff. Put on this nice show for everybody, and then at BronyCon, I believe it was 2016, an artist that worked on the My Little Pony comic, who I had been submitting to for a while, without answer, walked by my booth, took notice of a piece that they liked, and asked if I had, wanted to work on the comic. So they put my name in front of the editor, and I was like, I submitted this same piece. I'll see how it goes into the void. I get one, little mention from this artist friend, Sarah Richard, who I owe everything to start me on that path. And then I was doing covers. So I was doing retailer incentive covers for My Little Pony. Issue 33 was my first one. It was a Friends Forever. It wasn't even on the main arc. I didn't get a main arc piece until issue 93 of this season. They call it season 10. After the show ended, so they continued into the comics, and the comics are coming up on their 100th issue. So I mean, it's no joke. It's been around a while. You're talking about a comic that's probably been around for like 9.5, 10 years. On a property that's meant for little kids. I mean, how often do those things like kind of roll over and change hands? Well, I did a small little interior story. For Christmas issue before the pandemic. Then I did a free comic book day issue, 12 pages, interior work. And that got blown up by Corona. Thanks, Corona. Thanks, COVID. Well. And then I did a whole issue 93, which was released in December of
not too long ago.
Yeah. So not too long ago. And then most recently for them, I've done My Little Pony Transformers 2. I had a 10-page story in there where I got to draw
Nice.
Applejack and a Decepticon named Wild Wheel having a Wild West showdown. It was over the top. Over the top cowboy shenanigans. Clint Eastwood letterbox style, like the eyes and, you're in my way. I hope you're feeling lucky, that sort of thing.
2 people on this panel right now are into the My Little Pony Transformers, so
That's such a good series. It took Tony 5 years to get that through. It finally happened. It took forever. And so the first ones, the Transformers went to Equestria, and now the ponies are on Cybertron. So I guess they just had to switch places. It was really cool. So my little part is just a 10-pager in that issue, with Applejack roaming through the Sea of Rust, looking on how to get back to Equestria. So, I'm not going to spoil the end for everybody, but the issue just came out last week, so it's still fresh. Cover, Tony did the cover for it. So if you see a cover, I think he had, I want to say, I don't know. It has Rainbow Dash on the front. Blue horse flying around. It's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I picked it up.
Yeah. Oh, see, good. The colorist really did a good job on. I think that the coloring really made my lines look a lot better. I did pretty good though drawing these robots because I'm not very good at the mechanical portion of things. But I did okay. I think I did all right for just seeing Wild Wheel for the first time and finding out that he's this over the top cowboy robot. I'm like, yes, you need to exist. And then I found it really ironic that instead of transforming into a horse or something, he transforms into a car or a hover car or something. I'm like, that's a little too futuristic for you, cowboy robot. What are you doing? So after that, I mean, and while I was doing all of that stuff, I was doing Stray Dogs. So Stray Dogs was kind of like a backseat project that we worked on for about 3 years before the first issue even came out. Or actually, it was more like 3 years from beginning to end. So we just finished issue 5. We just sent it to the printer. It is on its way. It's on its way.
Nice. Is there any before we go to the Stray Dogs, any pony that you like to draw the most or best fits your personality?
There are 2. I like drawing Rainbow Dash because I can get really dynamic and silly with the poses, super flying poses are awesome. And I also like drawing Applejack because she makes the best faces. She's just super deadpan, very just sarcastic. She gets that little tone and her eyebrow goes up, I'm like, yes, that's my horse. She's my horse. But I definitely like drawing Rainbow Dash. I can totally get way more dynamic with the poses, and her expressions are really cool. But I would say as an artist, if you can draw one of them, you can draw all of them. Because they're all pretty much the same. You just switch the manes and the tails around and give some of them wings and give some of them horns. They're pretty much all the structurally the same.
Right.
And I laugh because I just did a virtual pony convention yesterday, or Saturday, and we were just having that same discussion about how to draw them and which one's your favorite. And I remember Andy Price, who has been on that comic since the beginning, he said the princesses were the worst, but now he likes drawing them the most. So it's which one started out as your nemesis and then became your favorite? And for that, I'd say mine is Pinkie Pie. I don't like her hair. But I can get way silly with her expressions, which is really cool. But anyway, ponies aside. But see, that really set me up for Stray Dogs anyway. But even before My Little Pony, I was drawing stuff long before that. Just, illustrations and stuff for myself. Sharing online. I mean, God, look at my Twitter account before all this Stray Dogs business. You'll see. I say before it, you have to go back a ways, a long way. You'll see all kinds of stuff. I mean, I like drawing 80s cartoons, 90s cartoons, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, like you name it.
I seen
I'm
that
into
you're
all
like
that.
a big fan of like Hanna-Barbera type characters.
Yeah, Warner Brothers, the old Hanna-Barbera stuff, anything that's kind of like, Don Bluth characters, Disney of the what do they call that? The golden age of animation, the late 80s, early 90s. That stuff is all my jam. And then, early Disney stuff, like Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers and all that stuff. I
Nice.
mean, like, give me the Disney afternoon any day. I would watch
Oh
that ahead of
yeah.
SpongeBob any
Yeah.
Oh,
day.
yes, definitely.
Give me
Love
some
Chip and Dale.
Darkwing Ducks and DuckTales.
Yeah.
Give it. Reboots all
Let's get
around.
dangerous.
Reboots for everybody.
Now, My Little Pony has been around a long time. I mean, since I was a kid, it was around.
Yep.
I was born in the '80s, so have you always been a fan of My Little Pony, even from back then?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I had some. I had some of the old style when they had like the giant head. Here, I've got the remake,
Oh, nice.
the
Nice.
dead-eyed plastic remake from Funko.
Sweet.
Minty was always my favorite. I just like that color, that green and white. It was just really cool. But, you know, I used to have those ponies back in the day when they had like crystal eyes and you had the castle and all that business. And the little brother ponies, which were kind of creepy looking, but still kind of cool.
Mm,
I liked all that stuff, but I also liked, Transformers and He-Man and She-Ra and all that good stuff. So I have 3 sisters. We all were all over the place with what we liked. You had one that liked the Barbies, and you had the one that, like me, likes everything. I like everything.
yeah, me too.
I'm
I'm the
just
same way.
and then you find yourself falling down the rabbit hole of nostalgia, and you're like, I remember this, and now I need all of it, like Care Bears and
Right.
Jimmy Gem and the holograms, and give me everything,
Ooh.
just all of it.
That's
This
how
way.
I am right now with all the Beast Wars comics. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'll
see,
take every cover.
yeah, I drew like a scorpion robot in mine. I don't know what his name is, but I had to draw a Beast Wars guy, in my comic. He's only in it for 2 panels, but he's there.
Nice.
It was really
Did
fun.
you have a favorite Transformer that you like to draw, or did you grow up with
Um,
that you like?
Well, I always liked Optimus Prime and his mysterious, disappearing trailer. In the cartoon, when it would transform into Optimus, and his trailer would just go away. Like, bye, I guess. See you later, trailer. Or
Did you
GI
cry like
Joe.
most of us? I'm sorry, but did you cry like most of us when Optimus was no more in that movie, that '86 movie we all?
Everybody did. I feel like we all kind of just needed a moment after, and but I mean, I don't know. I just love everything. I'm just like, give me more of everything. I'm glad that even the Michael Bay Transformer movies, as bad as they are, I still watch them because who doesn't like to watch a movie about giant robots fighting stuff? Who cares what they're doing? Who cares what the story is? Just big robot
Just
punch big
badass.
robot. It's cool. Explosions.
The classic Optimus voice, he's
Yeah,
in that
right.
movie too.
Oh man.
Yep, he is. He's the voice in that movie too.
Optimus Prime, you
Yeah.
love it, man.
Exactly. There's just certain things that just kind of pull at you and make you remember stuff. That was the whole point of Stray Dogs looking the way that it does. It just makes you remember when things were simpler, when you were younger and things were warm and fuzzy. The story isn't warm and fuzzy, but the way it looks and feels to you is like a warm hug of nostalgia, and then you read it and you're like, oh, this is what would have happened if like Don Bluth would have turned the Secret Nim up to like 11, because even that movie was kind of crazy, like animal experimentation and abuse, and then you had these animals, these gnarled hands like undoing locks and escaping. It's just, and they had very dark, like it was a very dark medieval type story, and then all dogs go to heaven, with all the crazy imagery. Like, you don't remember it, unless you rewatch it, but Charlie's on the river Styx with a giant skeleton monster riding through lava straight to hell. Like,
Right.
what is going on?
Yeah, it's a lot darker than you remember.
It is. I was like, oh my God. What kind of parents did we have that let us watch this?
I
But,
wonder why we all had nightmares as kids. Like,
and we
those
watched
images
that,
stuck.
and we watched that dog die twice. Like,
Yeah.
he died twice. He was straight up murdered on screen. And then, like, it wasn't bloody, but he was hit by a car and knocked into the water. He straight up murdered. And then he sacrifices himself for the girl. Spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen it by now, you're not gonna. Don't watch the other ones, though. Oof. The animation studio that did those, man, they make my heart hurt.
So I want to go back, like, far back. Like, when did you find your passion for drawing? And
Oh, I was a child. I was in kindergarten, and and it just happened. Like, I drew something. My mom was like, "Oh my God, that's that's like a dog or something." I don't remember what the first thing I drew was, but I remember winning an art contest when I was in the first grade, and I got to ride on a trolley and hold up a poster, and it was very cute. But then after that, it was just practice and practice and practice, just drawing on everything. Didn't matter. Whenever we went to restaurants and there was paper on the table, they give you the crayons. I would draw until I filled the space, and then I would make everyone get up and move so that I could draw more. I'd just go around the table until I filled the whole table. It was just, I always had a passion for drawing, and it only led into animation because I just love the idea that I could draw something and it could look like it could move. And then if I could draw a sequence of drawings and it could move, whole mind exploding, I never could wrap my brain around the mechanics of animation. I understand it, but pen to paper can't, like, I could do it, but it takes a long time. I did a little bit of a course with Don Bluth online, and it was like I did a walk cycle for a little bunny character, and that thing took like 3 days. It was like 25 drawings or 26 drawings or something like that, and it took like a week. It was wow. I'm like, it's like 1 second of like a little march, and the ears do the secondary motion, and then but it's somewhere in my computer archives. But yeah, animation is great. So the idea that I could draw something that looked like it would move, that's just how I am, especially these days. With stray dogs, with anything actually. My art always had that like kind of quality to it. I would love to be able to draw things that look like they could move, that can convince you to feel something, like happiness or joy. It was all an outlet for joy, and then the other expressions just kind of come in there, get you when you're feeling like angry. Now let me vent.
When did you get that feeling that you were good, like you weren't just scribbling, or like when did you get that oh wait a minute,
I still have imposter syndrome sometimes, where you're just like, you people really like this much? I mean, like, it's beautiful. It makes me so happy that people love this so much, but I don't think any artist ever feels like they're perfect or great. And I don't want to speak for everybody, but for myself, I'm always improving. I'm always changing stuff, and I'm always tweaking how I draw. But I like to think that even as I learn, I'm putting out a quality product. So what I put out takes time. But I like to think that I'm putting out a product I'm proud of. And so whatever I put out, the final product of it is me being, okay, this is good enough for me to show the world. Like if I post it on Twitter, if I put it on Instagram, if I put it on Facebook or whatever, I'm going, look, I'm going to put this on my refrigerator. Like, that's how proud, that's the sign of proudness. So yeah, I mean, That's usually how I do it.
Well,
Aw.
this
you?
series is definitely something to be proud of. This series is really hot. Everybody's talking about it, and as great as the story is, I think the art is really the hook because like you said, there's a Don Bluth thing to it. There's it's purposely done that way, and I think we all love Don Bluth. I think we all love Disney to a certain extent.
Hmm.
So it was
As far as
perfect. It
mega
was the perfect
corporations
hook.
go, yeah, we're I have a love-hate relationship with Disney. Like I love their properties,
Right.
but they're kind of like a huge corporation, and I just go, just want my money. It's okay though. I understand. Just shut up and take it. If I can get a Ducktales reboot, please, or if I can get a Darkwing Duck reboot, please.
Right, they got us all right. They
We got
got
the
all our
Ducktales
loves.
reboot. We just need to move it down the line. But yeah, Don Bluth. If Don Bluth was really allowed to like turn that grittiness to a really dark story, this is what Stray Dogs would be. Like, to me, that's just the epitome. It's gritty and dark. It's intended to be, but you need this sweetness to kind of soften that blow, and you need to feel for these characters, which is, it's hard to imagine. Like, imagine if that was a house full of like people who had amnesia. You wouldn't care because it's just people. You're like, oh,
Right.
people, great. It's just another story about crazy people who don't remember things. But dogs, they're vulnerable. They're just,
Right.
innocent. They don't know anything. And the best part is you can tell the story from their perspective because you only know, as the viewer, you only know what they know. You don't know what the master does or what he's all about. All you know is what they know. And they know he takes care of them. They know he feeds them and lets them outside and does all the things for them. So it's just really kind of messed up, and it gets more messed up the more you think about it. The deeper you think about it, you're just like, wow, this is really screwed up.
And it makes it more suspenseful. Like you don't see any of the humans' faces. Like it's just pretty much just the dog's point of views, and that you don't get to see them at all.
Yeah,
It just makes
we
it
get
more.
glimpses at like faces, like the edge or whatever, because you don't want to pull yourself out of that world and into the humans' world, right? So the human's not the focus because you're in the dog's world. The dogs don't necessarily always look at the people in the face. So, they're looking at their hands. Like, what's in your hands? You got food? You got a toy? Oh my gosh, So you're still playing with that psychology, the dog psychology. Plus, I don't draw people very well. So, you kind of get a little bit of that. I kind of used it as a shield a bit. You do see him. We will
I
see
think you did
him.
great. I think you did awesome,
But
especially the scenes with the ladies. I'll just leave it at that. The ladies, they were very dynamic, and the feeling was there. You felt whatever you guys were going for.
get that
You
terror.
did it. You did it, Trish. You did it.
I like to think that, as my first, it's not a solo thing, obviously. This is a team thing. I met Tony at BronyCon 2018. Like, we actually talked we met before that at BronyCons. But we talked, really, at 2018. He pitched it to me because he saw one drawing that I had done in my art book, which was a memoriam piece I did for my old dog. And it was basically the end scene from All Dogs Go to Heaven, where Charlie's got his head up out of the cloud, and he does a little wink, and he's got the little halo, and it's so sad. But but I drew my dog instead in that style, so it's kind of goofy looking and exaggerated, but still. But he saw that one, and that's what he wanted for this book. And so, after that, he pitched me issue 1, basically cover to cover. It took about 15 minutes. I was sitting in his booth while we were selling stuff, and man, I about fell on my chair. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" The hook got me so bad. Like it's like when you find out what issue 1's all about, the hook got me so bad. I was like, "Get me out of this, or get me right back into it." Like, what's the next
Right.
one? What happens to him? So, so
and you captured it perfectly on the first issue cover. I mean, you see the cute Don Bluth looking dog, but then you see the foreboding door and the red colors. And it was perfect. You guys got the feeling immediately.
So then, we get into these homage covers, which we weren't going to do. Like, we were kind of thinking, like, well, we want the, we do what we do as confident artists, and we say we want our product to stand on its own. We don't want to ape on these other properties and whatever. But then Image was like, but people will think this is for children, and it's clearly not for children. And I was like, oh, well, you've got a point. So then we did the homage to Silence of the Lambs because of how it was pitched to the public, Silence of the Lambs and Meets Lady and the Tramp. And, everybody just it took off. It was just like the chef's kiss of perfect things to happen. So we just kept doing them. So we kind of have a plan for them. You know what I mean? It's just like, we don't pick horribly gory covers, because it's not a horribly gory story. I think to me it's all more cerebral, and it's like the first 2 issues are kind of really up here, and then everything kind of switches to horror mode after issue 3. And this whole thing has just been such a ride. You should see me after issue 3. I'm like, oh God, drink my wine.
Oh
Drawing
man,
it was
issue 3.
whew,
Yeah, well,
drawing it was
just
just
showing.
I
was
drawing
showing,
it was just
this
so
yeah.
feel
This
emotions.
issue, yeah. When I picked this up without reading it, right? I picked it up without reading it. Then when I read it, I mean, this cover took a whole new meaning after reading it, man. It's good. It's so good.
It hurts my feelings, but it's a good hurt, because you want to keep reading to find out what happens. Issue 4 just came out last week. Yes.
Yeah.
And FOC for issue 5 is today. So issue 4 being fresh out, I'm not spoiling anything for anyone, but the ride just intensifies. It gets better. And I think that a lot of the response I got from issue 4 was harder. It was harder and more pointed at me than issue 3. Like issue 3, everybody was just like, "You effing monsters! Like, what are you doing here?" But we love you still. And then so like issue 4 was like that, but it was more like, I always thought like issue 4 to me felt like a bully punch you in the stomach and then take your lunch money. That's what issue 4 was. That after after you were already bummed out, just make it salt in the wound. But everybody acts like issue 4 was just way worse. And I guess it kind of is on its own. You find out some things about the Master. You find out some things about everything else, about the other dogs and what happened to them. So, or the dogs before them. So you kind of think about more, and it adds more layers to the story. Like adds more messed up layers to the story. I'm kind of talking a lot, so if you guys need to interrupt me,
Go ahead.
We're loving it. We're loving it right now.
we
Just going back to the. Oh, go ahead, Herb.
No. I was just gonna say like that we have questions, right? And then you just answering them right there. So I was like, okay, I don't have to ask that
all
one.
right, we gotta think of something else to ask.
check this one off. Got that one.
How was the transition for jumping from IDW over to Image?
Oh, no problems. And I still do occasional work for IDW. It's not like exclusivity agreements or anything are in place. So I still can draw happy, sweet, cute rainbow ponies, and then my beautiful, sweet dogs in peril. I love the juxtaposition of the two, because I actually just finished. I just had a cover for an MLP annual that came out a couple weeks ago, that had dogs on it too. It cracked me up. I was like, well, you just picked the best artist for this right now. I want to be like the comics industry dog lady. I want to draw everything as dogs. It's great. Then I saw like The Rock was going to be crypto, and I'm like, I gotta get good at drawing crypto right now. Like, let's do it.
Definitely.
Um,
I just wanted to go right back, just to the homage covers that you did. First, the next one is Friday the 13th. Am I right?
Yep. Yep.
That is
That one.
probably the best Friday the 13th homage cover I have ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. I really mean it. Like, I want that
It was
thing
very
really bad.
cool to I drew the dogs in that one. Tony did the inking on his iPad because it was just so much. It would have been the piece would have had to be immense to get all that detail. So he did all of the inking for that, and it was just uh like 3 days, 4 days of inking. When he showed it to me, I'm like, oh my god, we got to do like a black and white version of this. But it just really stands out when you've got that red collar in his hand, and you know that's
Yes.
the master, and you're just like, oh my god. I'm like, that's freaking perfect. That's just how we draw it. You know, it's like
Are
we've
you
got some dogs
are
back
you a
there, and we've
fan of
got
horror movies at all?
um. I know the big, like your major ones. I'm not into horror as a genre, which is very funny considering what I'm drawing here. But uh, I know your big ones, your Freddy's, your Jason, the Stephen King movies. I know those. I've seen The Shining. I've seen all the biggies. But like, I won't watch like the torture porn ones, like Saw. I don't like those movies. Like, I don't like the ones with like blood everywhere and body parts everywhere. I mean, like I've seen there's a place for that. It's all kind of like your campy horror films. I can watch those. Those are stomachable. Like Halloween, like the early ones. I was into those. Like I could watch those. Michael Myers was pretty crazy. And
oh
when you
yeah.
get these like bad guys that don't say anything and they just breathe, and you're like, oh, this is like ASMR the wrong way.
You're like me. I like horror, but not horror with like a lot of gore and like
Yeah, like
and that. So
that stuff. It just makes me queasy. My husband had to watch Saw without me. Like he wanted to see it, and I was like, "Well, you better watch it when I'm not awake. I don't want to see any of that." So he ended up watching it at like really early in the morning one morning. I was like, "Oh no, horrible! I can't even bring myself to think about it." But the reason we picked the homage covers that we picked was because those posters fit. Maybe the movies were kind of slashery or kind of gory, but the posters themselves weren't, and they kind of invoked a mood um, that that isn't. So like I don't know if Demons is a very gory movie, but I know it's like a 70s Italian horror movie. I don't know if that's very like a hard. That was one of the deep cuts. I mean, but Pet Cemetery wasn't a horror, like a slasher film. Yeah, people died, but yeah, there was death in it, but it was kind of symbolic death. A lot of it. I don't know. I didn't mind the Stephen King ones because they were more like a little bit trippy. Like you think about the story and you're just like, oh well, if you had just not put this cross here or not gone into this haunted cemetery place, it would have been fine.
I really love the like Silence of the Lambs one is probably what got me to like pick it up. Like I saw the cover for that and I was like automatically I was like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm hoping the story is good because I don't want to just buy this for the cover.
I thought that a lot of people would buy them for the cover, but it also helped that it had already been optioned. So Paramount has the rights to make it as a movie. I don't know what process they're in on it, but I can't wait to see how it turns out. Hopefully, they actually do make it, and it looks like how we drew it. Like that's ideally what you want. We pitched it as an animated film, so like not like a CG dogs kind of thing, like not like a Long Journey Home where it's live action dogs. Um, because that would make me too sad. I wouldn't be able to watch it. Like I can't watch Dogs in Peril movies. Do you understand how I have not seen Eight Below yet? I just can't do it. If I know there's gonna be harm to the dogs, like it's easier, I guess, for the comic because it's not like a real dog. If I got to see a real dog bite it in a movie, I'm going to be very upset. You know. What was that one movie? Oh my gosh, it was like one of those tearjerker movies. You go into it knowing you're gonna cry. That had a dog in it, and it was like the dog's. It was called The Dog's Journey, but it was something else, and it had Owen Wilson in it, and I was just like, screw this, man! I can't watch this. It's like some kind of. It was like kind of a drama. Where
there
the
was
dog.
Marley and Me wasn't that?
Yeah, that was it. Oh,
there you go.
No, peace out. Throw that DVD in the trash. Oh, unsubscribe, 0 stars. No.
So how are you gonna
Subscribe
feel?
here, though, people.
So how are you gonna feel if you have to watch your own movie?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're gonna have to watch it.
I'm gonna be so torn. It's gonna be like, oh, but I'll know. Like I'll know what's coming up and be like, no. You know, I'll be one of those people in that movie theater, like, shh, watch this. You're gonna like this next part. It's gonna be me. Don't go in there. Go eat my popcorn, like, girl. Don't go in there.
So where were you when you first? Go ahead. No, I was gonna ask her. Where were you? No, go ahead, Phable. Go ahead, Phable.
Oh no. I was just gonna say, how does this all feel? How is this the reception? I mean,
I'm blown away.
Yeah,
blown away.
I can imagine.
Like, I don't know about Tony, but I never expected any of this. I was basically in it with low expectation, only because it's my first book, like my first thing with my name on it, my first co-created thing that's out there. I designed all of the characters, so it was kind of like, are people gonna like what I did? I went into it like really self-conscious, and then to see how people liked it and the reviews, and I didn't see a single bad one. Now I looked because I was very morbidly curious. Like, does my self-esteem take a hit today? Let's look, But it was just, I'm blown away. People seem to like it right away. People seem on board with the idea of the story, and so they went, and got issue 2, and they like, when I read issue 2 is not very exciting, but it's very suspenseful. So I guess it's not like a lot of action, but there's a lot of suspense happening. It's a lot of building. There's a lot of world creation happening in there. And you've got to really have somebody hooked in to get through all the world building before you can rip the rug out from under them and take them into like issue 3, which would be the middle of the story. Issue 3 really, really took some shots, and I was worried that we would lose a lot of people after issue 3. Like, I was worried about threats. I was worried. Our email stayed pretty mum. We only got threats from like one guy. It was fine.
Oh my god.
It was more like a I'm out sort of situation, not a threat. It was like a I'm out. Hands up, I'm out, situation. And then issue 4 was so well received. I mean, like, it's just been escalating. The hype, I guess you want to call it the hype. I call it a hype train. Hype train's escalating. We're going too fast. Hopefully, everybody likes it enough that they buy issue 5. We sell out again. We can do a second print, so we can have a second print set, and then I can put out some more horror covers. So you all got jobs to do. Go buy some comics.
I've been buying them. I pre-ordered every single horror homage cover like months ago. As soon as like I could pre-order them, I pre-ordered them. And then as soon as I seen this background that we have right now of Scream, third print, I pre-ordered that as well. So
I like the Scream homage on a couple of different levels. Like, to me, it reminds me of the Silence of the Lambs cover, because the top part is just like her face, and she's kind of making that same face, only a little more scared on this one, because that's the way it's supposed to be. And it reminds me of that cover. So I kind of felt like it was like an homage of an homage. Like we were homaging our own first cover, which was really funny. But that's an existing poster that exists in the world. So is the Silence of the Lambs one. I kind of feel like they're similar. So we brought that story back, full circle, or at least imagery wise, full circle.
You mentioned this movie earlier tonight, The Shining. I'm waiting for a Shining homage.
There is one. There
Oh,
is one. Pastime Comics has one. You can probably order it on their website, but it's called Pastime Comics. Brian Kincaid did the cover for that, and it's Earl through the door making that face. Creepy. But yeah, and it's got the same like kind of like really heartfelt treatment that we always do on these homage covers. But yeah, they have one. There's an It cover with Bird City Comics for issue 5.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. I love the store exclusives for issue 5. There's another store that got one, but it's not an homage. It's just like a cover, but it's got some layers. Like the top part, you have the dogs and the house, and then underneath you've got skeletons and all this like evil stuff. It's really cool.
It. Hive Comics had that Blair Witch one.
The Blair Witch. That one, I saw somebody sell one of those for $400. I don't even know if it was signed. I was just like, are you kidding me? And the secondary market of comics, that blows me away. As someone who has seen her, comics on the secondary market go for, $4.99, $5.99, whatever, My Little Pony covers are going for these days. But to see the Stray Dogs books on the secondary market, it's blowing my mind. They're like, like that It homage. It's going like $50-$60. I know I'm signing some for that store. They're my friends. Laura and Ant. Yeah. I don't know if they're watching or not, but shout out.
Shout out.
So, I mean, like, and even my, like, local comic book shops, we've got Free Comic Book Day. We've got a Free Comic Book Day issue coming in August. That's going to be rad because it gives you there's like a 10-pager in the beginning. Gives you some insight into the first dog, and then a reprint of issue 1. So then the trade comes out in September, and then we'll have another book later this year or coming soon. It's called Dog Days, where we get into some of the stories of the dogs, because we only have time within the 5-issue arc to get into a couple of them. So we want to know what they were doing before, what they were doing during, what maybe are happening after. We don't have it all planned out yet, but it's coming together. And, we're going to have a little story for everyone, which would be nice. Some of the dogs are kind of sassy. Like, I like that they're all different shapes and sizes. They all have different attitudes. That's my favorite part. I like to fill the background with, like, dogs making faces or dogs doing stuff. You've seen in the first, like, couple of issues, there's dogs doing stuff in the background. And you're just like, what the hell are they doing back there? This is a serious moment. They're over here playing with a toy. It's fine.
So, did you find it, like, you were given this series as a 5-issue series. Did you find it, like, hard to map it out to 5 issues to get the story out with the writer and to talk with him? Or,
nope. Tony and I are really good friends. He may disagree with that. I don't know. But I like to think that, we're really good friends. So, he wrote everything. Like, he had an outline, basically. He knew where he wanted it to break. And so, but the end definitely changed from what we originally thought, like what we were originally thinking way back when. The ending, there were parts of it that actually definitely changed. It feels like a bottle episode of, like, your favorite show just taking place in this one place. So you're only your locations are limited, but you'll see issue 5. I think it's all better now. Like, but he mapped it out, pretty good. We had some good pacing, but that's the problem. You had to pace it, so we had to cut stuff. Like, you had to cut, you want to do a flashback to Gucci and what she was doing before all of this happened. well, you can't because we don't have time. We have to move. We have to move to the next step. We have to move to the next scene. We have to get the next thing in. Those things, not that they took away from the story, not that they didn't enhance it at all, but that we just didn't have time within the allotted pages. We actually added pages to issue 5. We had to add length to that issue. It's a big issue. It's 38 pages, I want to say.
Wow.
Because it was like the story was the story was supposed to, like, this whole story was supposed to be 100 pages. The whole thing together is like 126 pages. It could have had its own. It could have had a 6th book with as many pages as were included. So we added some stuff, definitely. And issue 5, like, when it was a cover to cover thing, by the time we got to the very end, we were like, we don't have room for dogs. Like, you know how at the end of every issue we put some dogs in there. Everybody's got to feel cozy about this. So let's put some dogs in here. Well, and we've got friends who have dogs, and dogs that have passed, and people email us and all, and they tell us all their stories, and I'm like, yeah. So we added, I want to say we added 4 pages. We added 4 pages to put these dogs in, to make sure they all got a look, because we owe everybody so much for just picking this story up and giving it a chance, and hanging with us through it, even through the issue 3 tough part. But yeah, I love it, and people are still emailing us pictures of their dogs, even though we don't have any more issues coming. And everything, like Free Comic Book Day is already in the books. We're set all the way up to the trade, I think.
Wow.
Printing wise, and it was good that we did things the way that we did. We didn't want to publish it because both of us were doing this in our free time. He was doing other books at the same time. I was doing other books and my day job at the same time. Yeah, because I had to make this affordable. I had to do what I had to do. But I have a day job. It's much less exciting than this. So it's really cool to get to talk to people and get to talk to you guys and tell you a bit about this book, because it's more exciting than my day job.
So you said it's going in production to, you said Paramount, right?
Yep, Paramount.
Do you think they'll come to you and ask you to
make anything for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish. I doubt they don't have to. They have us as consultants. They don't have to. But what I would really love to do is design the toys for it, because I'm good at that. I've designed plush toys. I used to design them for BronyCon every year, and I actually designed my own dog plush. I don't have it handy. Of course, I wouldn't have it handy, knowing that I was coming on a show. But I designed a cute little dog toy because there weren't Malamute toys, and I have a Malamute, and so I wanted one, and so I made one, and I made like 500 of them. So, and I pre-sold a few of them. I still have a bunch. I gotta get my website back up, as artists have to do. We all have to update our websites. But yeah, it's. I hope that they come to me for merchandising ideas, because I got some.
Well, you heard it here first, Paramount. You have three buyers that will buy these products and probably push it on everybody else. So get on her to create the merchandise.
That's right. I mean, who better to create something like that's printed on a shirt than the actual artist from the comic, right? Like, I could do that. I could totally do that. What, keychains, you name it. I got ideas. I used to make all kinds of stuff: stickers, art books.
Oh God, stray dog stickers.
Yeah, man.
And
Stick that logo right up here. They own me forever now. But yeah, I'm not sure if they will, but the option's totally there. They can call me about anything. I feel bad because I think all of that stuff is tied up with Paramount. Otherwise, I'd be doing it myself by now. I'd be making a Sophie plush, or I'd be making a Roxy plush or something like that. It's fun to make stuffed animals. I used to do it. I've been doing that for, I want to say my first plush was in 2007 or 2006, with a little skinny character that I created. It was a cartoon cougar. I still draw her sometimes. She's the best. I made that character in high school. I still draw that character even today. She gets me through some tough times. Yeah, when I just want to be silly. I draw her as everything. Like, I'll draw her in any universe. I draw her in, like, the Marvel universe. I've drawn her in... Oh, and that's another thing. I do a lot of pony crossover art. Nobody ever seems to think about that, but I did some, like, Marvel ponies. Those were cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like, I did, like, a Doctor Strange pony. Like, all my superhero ponies are all, like, you know, always dynamic. Very cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I hope that one day, and I've done like enamel pins. I can make those. I can do all kinds of stuff. These people just need to give me a call.
Yeah, that's fucking.
I'm interested in a My Little Pony and Beast Wars kind of crossover.
I did make I designed a My Little Pony that got turned into a toy. Well, I had to commission it, but it's Pony Stark.
Nice.
Pony Stark.
Yeah, he's in his homecoming outfit. Look at his kitty cat on his shirt. Yeah. I did the first version of this, the very first version, not of this toy. The toy I commissioned the toy from an artist who actually makes them. This is a one of a kind. You can't just buy this. But the first version of the Pony Stark pony that I did way back in the day actually showed up on Robert Downey Jr.'s Facebook page. And I was like horrified because it was so old at the time when it finally showed up. And I had already done 2 more versions since then. I'm like, oh, bummer. Bummer. But like, at first I want to say it was the first Iron Man movie version of him. And then I did a version of him from Iron Man 2 and then Iron Man 3 and then the Homecoming one was the last one. And then after that, I just didn't draw any more Pony Starks because my sweet Tony.
I would definitely get that pony if I saw it.
Right? He's pretty boss. I mean, like, this is a little chibi style. He's pretty,
I like that.
Pretty boss. He's got his little sarcastic eyebrow, and then he's got he's making a little smarmy face.
You realize now, like, everybody's going to be hitting you up on Instagram and everything else. You make
I could ponyfy anything. You want to give me any pony? I can ponyfy anyone. It's great. I love drawing people as ponies. Like, somebody wants to be a pony, I'll draw them. There's a whole universe for that now. There's they've got creators for that. There's a whole universe of artists and stuff that came out of the pony fandom that kind of work in industry now. They either draw comics or they work in animation or they work in music or 10 years that show was on TV. So now those people have all grown up and they're entering into the world of creation, which is really cool. So I don't knock the pony fandom too much. I mean, it's got its dark corners just like everybody else, just like your Trekkies, your comic book fandoms got all kinds of dark corners. I just stay where I stay where my comfort zone is. I draw like chibi superheroes. I draw cute. I like to think it's kind of like a Scotty Young style, but it's not. Scotty Young is like very inspirational. Like, that was what got me into drawing like superheroes. It was like, oh my god, he could make it. I can make it. I can do it. These cute little superheroes. Look at them. Tackling serious topics, being all cute. I love it.
Yeah, my wife loves Scotty Young, so yeah.
I got his Alien cover. It was awesome. I'm like, I want to be able to draw like this, but like, I don't want to seem like I'm like glomming on to him and being like, oh my god, this is my style now. Get away. I'm trying to find my own path. Like, I'm trying to find my own path, and I guess it's happening. It's just very slow. But that's the evolution of our art. That's the evolution of an artist. It's a slow progression. You kind of get there when you get there.
So any future plans?
Go ahead, Dean.
Any future plans for you and Tony going forward? I know you guys are pretty tight, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that after Stray Dogs, we're still hooked together for Stray Dogs for a while. I don't know if we're gonna do any other projects together. Hopefully, so. He's a good writer, and that stuff's gonna happen for him. I'm very proud of this project. He's got another one coming called Time Shopper. He's about to do on Kickstarter. I think sometime after issue 5 drops. Time Shopper is a really cool story. It's a different artist, but it's got a really different look, and it's a much different thing than this. It's kind of zany, which I like. So you need that kind of balance in the comic industry, because a lot of comics are very serious and kind of stone-faced these days. A lot of horror books, a lot of zombie books, a lot of superheroes in peril, and then you've got Time Shopper, which the story for that is really cool. It's just like a guy who goes back, who gets this money, goes back in time. He's supposed to fix things that are broken, but instead he sees how ridiculously cheap things are in the past, so he goes and buys things with the money that he's got. But yeah, they're gonna kickstart that. It was supposed to come out pre-pandemic, but something happened with their publisher or whatever, and now they're gonna kickstart it, and that's gonna be rad. I've got a ash can of that somewhere around here. That is a really cool story. The art style is very neat, so I think that a lot of people would like it. It's kind of fun. I don't know if it's going to be ongoing or not, or if it's just like one contained story. But that's what I like about Tony's stuff. Tony's stuff is kind of really nice, tight, contained story. Hit that like button and subscribe, y'all.
Any future projects? Any future projects that you want to do or in the works of doing that you can't say, or anything like that?
I know I've got one exclusive cover with Bird City coming up for a Garrett Gunn book. They haven't dropped it yet, so I'm not gonna spoil it. And then there are others in the works, maybe. I don't know if it's all coming together yet or not, but I want to work with Garrett Gunn's stuff because it's really cool. He works on a lot of he writes a lot of neat stories. He's got a Kickstarter coming up too for The Good Boy. Think of Reverse John Wick. The human dies and the dog goes on a killing spree.
Right.
To avenge his fallen human.
Oh wait, what was that? Is it like a pug dog?
No, it's a German Shepherd, I think.
Okay, I've seen this other one that's called Buddy, and it kind of seemed like
that one looks pretty cool too. It's kind of like an alternate universe one with the cat. There's like a cat that goes into. Somebody showed it to me and they were like, "This looks like Stray Dogs," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't. It looks pretty cool. Like it looks like a different take. It's all from the POV of the pets, but it's like there's like a whole like a hell aspect and a demon version of everything kind of aspect that goes on in that. I don't know the whole story because I looked at it for the art and I read kind of like the blurb, like what's the pitch. It looked interesting to me, and that's one I would back. I like backing like these indie stories. I think they're really cool. I wouldn't consider Garrett Gunn stuff like, indie-ish. I don't know. I've got my first slab was actually one of his books, Franklin and Ghost. It's super shiny. Oh, nice. Enjoy. I got a 9.6 Franklin and Ghost. It's a really cool story. This was a con exclusive cover. I just started collecting comics, y'all. So this is like my jam now. What are you guys reading? Anything good? Besides Stray Dogs? You don't have to read this, but I recommend that you do.
I love Maniac of New York right now.
It's 10 o'clock. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead.
No, I'm reading like Maniac of New York. That's one of my favorite. I don't know if you heard of that one, but that's shark. You know what I mean? I'm loving that one. What else? Something's Killing the Children. I know a lot of people are loving that one. Yeah.
Someone
I
did
don't.
a blank cover of that with Stray Dogs on a Stray Dogs blanket, and it said something is killing the owners, and I was like dying.
Oh.
It was so good. It was so good.
Is there a potential of blank covers for Stray Dogs? I know Phable likes to do art, and then also another person that's in our chat right now, Bobby Delegato, likes the blank covers to do art on, and then possibly get maybe you or somebody else to do cover art at a con.
Oh, that's cool. There was a stray cover for number one. I tried to get one when they did number three. Oh, somebody spotted my Agretzko pop back there. Uh, I tried to get more blanks. I think they've denied me. I want more blanks. I am a blank hoarder. I have a huge box of blanks. Speaking of Agretzko, I was working on a Ryan Brown Joker homage on one of those.
Wow.
I haven't actually put it on the book yet, but I did do a sketch of it, and put it on Twitter. I think I put it on Instagram too. I don't know. But yeah, I try and put up my sketches and see if anybody even cares. Like, a lot of people don't even care. And I'm like, that's sad, but okay, I get it. And maybe not everybody gets the homage, but it's fine. But yeah, Retzko's great. I love that cartoon. That cartoon is me. It's a lot of heavy metal. Station. Is this how you guys always
Any
greet each other? You guys say station all the time? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's our
And you do,
thing.
yeah.
any you worked on My Little Pony, and you've worked with Tony's properties or Tony's ideas or your ideas as well, but is there anything that's purely Trish, something we've never seen before, something that you may want to do, but maybe you don't want to write it, but you definitely want it out there?
I
Because
know
we
I
as
don't consider
artists,
myself I don't consider myself a writer at all. And I'm challenged to write a story that goes into this Dog Days book. So I'm like freaking out because I know I'm not a writer. And if I write something, it's going to be like this epic novel to say hello. Like, it's going to be like, 50 pages of, the characters just walking up to each other to say hello. I don't know. I think I've got an idea of the story I want to do for it. So I will eventually, pitch that to Tony and see how bad he riddles it with bullets. But yeah, no, there's nothing, like, I've not written anything, but there's like original artwork all over my Twitter and my socials.
Right.
Just to, keep myself, grounded. I have my own characters that I kind of draw, but I don't really, have a universe for them. I kind of fit them into other universes. I'm like, this is a universe that's cool. What if this character was in there?
That's cool
I'm kind of like but I do want to do something. I like working with people. I like bouncing ideas off of people, only because I know if I try to do something by myself and not have somebody check me or somebody say, hey, maybe do it this way. Or, even like with Tony, he's an artist too. So if I draw something or if he puts a panel, presents it to me in a way and I draw it a certain way, we may go a different angle. Like, for instance, this cover is an extension of a panel that's in the book, in this book. So we had to redraw this so that it was formatted for this, which meant I redrew the dog because I had drawn this issue like a year ago. So instead I redid it with kind of like my newer, cleaner style. If you look, you can see like the changes in my art style from the first issue to the current issue. My art style did change through it because I was influenced not just by trying to take my time and really, like, the first issue I know I took so much time on, but we needed like the 8 pages, the pitch pages, really fast to pitch it to studios, to pitch it to, Well, we weren't doing that first, but we were that was happening, but I wasn't part of that. And we never actually even expected it to get picked up. But the first issue, there's like 8 pages that look different than all the other pages, but that was because I did them first. And they're all different pages. They're not even in order. So I guess maybe the changes are very subtle, but the construction's still the same. I just like changing as an artist as I work through the story. I'm pretty sure you can relate to that. You just kind of think of different ways to draw things, and you can see I changed my way of drawing certain characters throughout that book. If you look at what Roxy looked like in the first issue, and look at what she looks like now, she looks totally different. Like, I don't draw her ears as big. I don't draw her chest, like the fluff right here as big. She's supposed to be like the busty girl in the horror movies. It cracks me up. Like, each one of them is like a trope. Well, not each one, but some of them are.
You say you like... Good. No, I was just going to say, you say you like Scotty Young. Are you reading his Strange Academy run right now?
Oh, my gosh. I'd like to draw something for that, too. If I ever get good at drawing people one day, like, that's where I got to practice. I got to practice on people. Because, like, even, like, Disney princesses and, like, all that stuff back when I was a kid, that stuff never looked, like, I don't know, appealing to me, I guess. It was all the animal stories that always got to me. So, I don't know. But one day. But yeah, his stuff is great. I mean, like, even he started as an artist too, right? And kind of went into writing and doing stuff like that. His work is so cool, dynamic. I sound like a fangirl, but that's fine. We're all nerds here, right?
If Marvel or DC came to you and was just like, said like, we want you to draw something for us, like and like gave you the option to pick anything in the Marvel or DC, what would you choose?
I was laughing. I think I know there's animals in the Marvel universe and the DC universe. I would love to do something like a DC, like a Crypto, a Bat Dog. I mean, like, I think all that's kind of cool. Like, even in the animated style, like the Justice League animated style, or the Batman the animated series, even in that style, I could probably work in that realm. As far as the human characters go, because it's got a really cool stylization. It's really neat. And so I'd probably go into that universe if it was DC. Marvel, I'd like to do a Lockjaw story. I think that'd be cool. Lockjaw's cool.
Anybody in particular
I'm just like thinking of like how you draw Lockjaw, and I'm just seeing great things. I'm like, yeah, okay, Marvel, get on.
I'm gonna have to like put some pages.
Series.
I'm gonna have to just put some drawings together of some Marvel animals and some DC animals, and just throw them out there and see if I get anything.
Oh man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, I like drawing animals. I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, I definitely got to get better at people. I know a lot of artists don't like to admit their shortcomings. But like, I'll draw like a really stylized person. But if you need it to look like if you need it to look like somebody, no. It's more like a caricature than anything. But I know some good caricature artists too, and my work is pale in comparison.
How about a Land Shark series from Kelly Thompson? I know you're aware of Land Shark, but yeah. I guess I gave you a new character to look. Kelly Thompson. She's one of my favorite.
Like Squirrel Girl, for instance. I would love to draw some Squirrel Girl.
Oh, there you go.
Let me draw Squirrel Girl. That's cool. I like Squirrel Girl. I've drawn Squirrel Girl before. I draw a cute style of Squirrel Girl. She's very adorable.
I want to see your Squirrel Girl now.
Yeah, I'll put it up on Twitter later, or on Instagram later, so you can see. Or I'll show it to you. But yeah,
guys, by the way, her Instagram is down in the description below, so go follow her on Instagram, and also her Twitter is down below as well.
Yep, I'm at Trish Forstner everywhere, so you can find me. My website's animatedvisions.com, but don't be scared. It hasn't been updated in a long time. So, so it's very dated. It's a very dated website. But my logo on animatedvisions.com, that's my little character I was telling you about that I kind of draw for everything. She's a crazy cartoon cougar named Kugari because she's a very original name. And it's just something I draw just to, unwind. But yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys brought me on. How long's the show? Am I running? Have I run over?
No, we
I
can
don't
go as long as
know.
you'd like. If you want to cover anything else, or if you'd
Oh.
like to go, we can go as long as you'd like to stay with us.
No, it's fine. Got any more questions? How's the audience doing? You guys hanging in there?
You got any
How,
questions in the chat right now? Let them
Yeah.
out. Let her answer some.
How stoked were you when you heard they were going to second printings?
I was okay. So when I featured a number, I didn't know what universe these numbers would be in. Like, would it be 1,000 copies? How many copies is a good number of copies to sell? So they tell us how many, and I'm like, that's great, right? And you get yeah, that's awesome. I'm like, oh, okay. So then when they tell me the second print, and I'm like, yeah, the second print, let's do it. Awesome. Then issue 2 comes out, and issue 2's numbers were like half of what issue 1 numbers were, and I was like, does that always happen? I was like dumbstruck. So apparently that does always happen. Like the fall off, it happens on these because a lot of people spec buy the first cover, the first issue, and then there's a lot of if they hate it, then they can bring it back because that's what Image does. But thankfully, no one hated it.
Yeah.
At least not that I know of. Nobody hated it. If they did hate it, I don't want to know now. We're 4 issues in. But yeah, when I figured out that there actually is a fall off, I was floored. I was like heartbroken that issue 2 was not like this smash success, and I'm like, wounded. But it turns out it was totally fine. And issue 3 and 4, like, our numbers are climbing through that because as people are ordering the issue 1 reprint, the issue 2 reprint, the issue 3 reprint, they're ordering more on the later issue because people are going to want full sets and stuff. So that's
what I'm
kind of
going
how
for.
I'm discovering. Yeah, that's what I'm discovering is that I was floored by the numbers. I was floored by the impact, and even like the second and third and fourth. Well, we do have a 4th issue reprint in case we get a 4th issue reprint. We have a cover in mind. So
I was hoping for some
those.
foil covers. Everybody loving the foil covers, right? Awesome.
I have a conflicting opinion about foil covers. It depends on how the foil is done, if I like it. Because if the foil is just like the foil on the paper and the image looks really dark and washed out, I don't like it. That image has to pop. So I would use that foil in a way that is very subtle. So like you see the foil through like light colors. I did a couple of foil prints back in the day, but you have to be very careful with foil because if it's not printed right, I don't like them. I've seen like Unsacred has a couple of foil printings, and one of the covers is really good. One of the covers sucks because it's completely washed out. And in every angle you turn this thing, if the light doesn't hit it like right across, you're not going to see it. And I'm like, oh, I hate this. This poor thing. This cover is just beautiful. Gets washed out by this foil thing. I'm very picky about paper and materials. That's the designer in me a little bit. But yeah, I do like them. I think there's a place for them. But if it's a dark cover, it's not going to look good. It's just going to look dark. I'm making plans to go to Baltimore Comic Con this year. Since I have this stinky day job and I just recovered from a surgery, I don't have a lot of vacation time and free time saved up. So I have to pick sparingly. So I will be going to. I'm thinking I'm going to Baltimore Comic Con because that's a local con, and that is in October. I think it's before Halloween, like October 21, 22, I want to say. It's a good show. I've been there before. I go into the artist alley usually, but that was before this. So I don't know where I'll be now. That was before Stray Dogs.
Speaking on cons, is there any chance that you'd be coming to Canada for a
Oh
con?
my gosh. I've only been in my little bubble. There's so much I haven't done. And I feel like COVID really destroyed that through the making of Stray Dogs. Because I feel like I got cheated out of that experience. I wanted to go to a San Diego. I wanted to go to a New York Comic Con. I wanted to go, to WonderCon in Florida and, just hype this book the whole time. I feel like, COVID did two things. Like, it was a double-edged sword. It really destroyed my ability to travel. And I haven't been out of the country. I haven't been out of the lower half here. And I would like to do that. But obviously, COVID's a thing still.
Yeah.
Even though they're lifting restrictions and stuff, it's still kind of a thing. I know I want to go to more conventions. That's definitely a thing. There's nothing like the atmosphere. Here's my thing. At BronyCons and pony conventions, I was a big fish in a little pond. When I go to Comic Cons, no one cares about me. I just sit there in my little booth and I'm like, look at me, I'm drawing cute things. In a sea of superheroes. I'm like, yeah, I'm drawing a doggy. You guys want to see this doggy? I drew one of my first little forays into blank covers. It was a Captain America. I drew a golden retriever with a Captain America shield on him, and no one bought him. He's still in my con bag. I was like, oh,
I'll buy
fine.
it. I'll buy it.
Oh,
Why I ask if you're going to do any cons in Canada is because I'm from Canada. I'm from Prince Edward Island, so
awesome.
So I know they have a fan expo in Toronto sometimes. So I was wondering if you'll ever be going to one of those.
I don't know if it'll be anytime soon, but my plan would be to eventually get to do a lot more conventions as I do more work in comics and stuff. Hopefully my name gets a little bit more popular than just the girl from Stray Dogs. But I love the industry and getting to do stuff. I want to get out to the West Coast. I want to get out. I want to go down south. Look at all these people. You guys are sweet. Yeah, the recovery went well. I still got a couple weeks, but left to finish recovering. But I'm doing all right now. I was worse off probably a month ago. I don't know when we started talking about coming on. But there was one show. Yeah, I was gonna say there was a show that asked me. There was a show that asked me while I was in the first week after my surgery, and I was like, "What? Who is the? Could see any?" I'm like, "Oh no!" But I love doing these. This is the best part of the experience so far is that I've gotten to talk to you guys and talk to people who are interested in knowing what I know, which is very little. I'm sorry.
Well, we're trying to spotlight artists a little more.
But I just talk. I just talk and talk and talk. So.
No, it's okay, Trish. You keep talking.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
You're making adoptions here.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, we're trying to spotlight artists, and I have a feeling that whatever con you go to next, it's gonna be a different story. It's definitely gonna be a different story.
Everything in art I know is self-taught, so I didn't go to school for it or anything like that. I know a lot of people who did. I didn't go to school for design. I have a lot of friends who, that was another thing through this whole BronyCon thing. We had a really top-notch design team, so they taught me a lot, and I'm still friends with those people. So anytime Lauren Herda, who did our logo, she worked on BronyCon too. With those connections, they follow you. So, I found that at least through this industry, be available to people, right? Have that hustle, like meet your deadlines. We almost didn't for Stray Dogs 5, let me tell you, my surgery. This whole thing was like an emergency situation. So it didn't it came out of nowhere and really almost ruined my day. It really kicked our deadline way off to the side. But we made it a week late. And that's why the issue date for issue 5 got pushed a week. And everybody was like, all the preview issues and everything still say this time for the. I said, no, it's been a week. It was a week out because I'm wounded. But everything's fine now. Everything's fine now. I got one more procedure to do and then we're all good. But all through it, I can still draw. As long as I have my paper and my pens, and I just bought some new Copics. I don't know. I'm not very good with them yet, but I'm usually more digital as an artist. So because I don't like to commit to things, so putting ink to paper is kind of like the ultimate commitment. I don't like to commit to my lines sometimes. So you miss that Control Z when you're drawing with real media, but I'm getting better with it. Every day, so I play with them a little bit every day. It's really good. Cathartic. It lets you think about something else. Every day you're thinking about work, or you're thinking about the next thing you're gonna do. You're thinking about your next guest, your next artist, or whoever your next piece. Just take 10 minutes and just clear your mind and draw something else.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm sorry, I was just gonna ask. That's what I was wondering. You have this other job. Where do you have the time to draw? Because I know that takes time too. And how many pages are you able to do a day if you do everything?
Well, for Stray Dogs, we set a goal of 2 pages a week, which I was able to hit pretty much most of the time. It was a little rough a couple times, because the day job is kind of all consuming. I wake up at between 6 and 7, and I log into my work, and I work until about 6, and then I have dinner, walk the dog, fix, do my housework, which you can see from behind me. I don't know if you can see the chaos, but it's kind of in shambles a bit. And then I sit down to draw around 9 o'clock at night, and then I stop at 1 in the morning. So some days are harder than others, but art is a field that you have to love to be in. Creation, art, drawing, that stuff to me is stuff you have to love to be in. Be under that pressure, those deadlines looming over you. I think my issue for My Little Pony, issue 93, I did that whole thing in less than a month because COVID was coming. They were shutting everything down, and comics weren't happening. So I needed to turn in everything that I had done so that I could get, so that they could have it, and make sure they still were going forward with it. So I needed to get paid. I needed to give them everything. I needed to do this whole story and give it to them. So I did it. I set a goal. For one weekend, I didn't leave my house at all. You do what you have to do. But yeah, I mean, if you love it, you'll do what you have to do to continue to do it. I just draw every day. I just draw something every day. It doesn't have to be productive or something that you have to do to turn in, for a job. You can just sit and clear your mind and teach yourself something new. I really like doing model pages sometimes. I'll have a character in mind, and I'll just draw their hand 1,000 times, or draw a few times on a piece of paper. That's the most satisfying junk to me. Go on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever and find hand models. It's so satisfying. or like model sheets, like animators will do. They'll draw the hand, or they'll draw like a foot, or they'll draw faces from different angles or different expressions. That stuff is so satisfying.
um, did you have a question, Fable? I did interrupt you earlier.
Oh,
I
what
kind
was
of
I
just
gonna
talked
ask?
for like 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
That's
No, no,
okay.
no. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying. I enjoy it. I'm definitely enjoying everything. I was gonna say, like, what do people around you, your family and your friends, think about, like you drawing My Little Pony? I mean, even though they may not indulge in the ID, I mean, if I found out my friend was drawing My Little Pony officially, I'd be like, "What? Get out of here! Are you kidding me?" Does
Well,
anybody give you that?
I get a lot of support. I feel like it's more like oh, that's nice, dear, like
Okay.
sometimes like, oh, that's cute, another macaroni drawing thing, great. But that's kind of, how I perceive it sometimes, but I know that's not how it's meant. Like, I get the support, um like if I say like to my uh to my stepfather, if I say to him, I'm working on my own property. First, it was all because he's a lawyer, so of course his mind went all legal, and I was like, "Stop! You're ruining it. Bring it back down to the fun." And
Mhm.
so then you understand the story, and so everything was just kind of mind blowing on a different level. It's really cool to pitch it to the relatives and see their reaction. Um, you get the ones that are like, "Oh, that's nice," and then you get the ones that are like, "Oh my god, really?" And the oh my god, really, they just get me. So I'm very modest, and I'm just like, oh yeah, just this old project I've been working on forever. you know, Nothing serious. It's cool. Uh, I love this project so much. It's consumed 3 years of my 3 years of my art. I didn't draw anything but it for every day. So whether it was just creating a new character for a scene or doing something, you know, different. Oh, folks are leaving.
Station, Bob.
Station. Be excellent. There.
Yes.
I'll get my be excellent in there. Yeah. That worked out. Excellent. I freaking love that
I
movie.
know. I know you don't have a lot of time, but do you watch movies or shows? Anything you watching currently?
Um, Lucifer season 2, part 2, or season 5, part 2 just dropped. So I
Oh,
need to catch
cool.
up on that. Yeah, that just dropped. I think last week. I gotta catch up.
So
But I
I'll
love
figure it
Lucifer. I love that show. That show is awesome. It cracks me up. But that's another one. Like, I'm not a real religious person either, but you got all this ideology for heaven and hell and all that stuff. But it all just kind of like the way they play it. It kind of seems like a mythology rather than religion.
Yeah.
Not to say anything, about religious folk. Everything's fine by me. It's just, I don't like anything that's too heavy or too preachy. So they do a good job of it. And their universe is in the DC universe, which I learned into like the second or third season. And then they did a crossover with like Constantine and a couple other,
Yeah, on
like
that
Arrow.
crossover, Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths, they
Yeah,
did crossover and they showed up to Lucifer's bar,
yeah,
Constantine and a few other people.
yeah. I saw that and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Do I have to watch all these other shows? But I mean, a lot of those other shows are really good. Um, I like that. There was a time in my life where superhero shows kind of took over everything. So like you had your Gotham, and then you had Agents of Shield and all the other ones. Like I watched Agents of Shield all the way up until the last season. I did not watch the last season, which I have to go back and actually watch because I hear it's very satisfying. Um, I watched WandaVision, but I didn't watch it like the way everybody else watched it. Everybody watched it, oh my God, did you see the latest episode? Every week. I didn't watch it like that. I waited for like all but the last one to be out, and then I binged straight through. I was like, yes, this is how I watch TV. In a straight line for hours, no blinking. So I watched WandaVision. I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those are cool shows. Yeah, I mean, Mandalorian, great show.
Oh yeah.
Mandalorian was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Who doesn't love Grogu?
Yeah.
I love him.
What'd you think of his name? What'd you think when they finally named him? What'd you think of the name? Did you like it or did you not like it?
Yeah, I still call him Baby Yoda. I still call him that. I don't care.
My wife does the same thing.
He's so cute. I've got a big pop of him back there behind me. I don't know. Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
you go.
wow.
Yeah.
There's Retzko down the bottom. Everybody was saying she's there. And I got Kool-Aid Man and Care Bears. They're there. Care Bears aren't Funko though. Those are just stuffed animals. And there's an Uncle Scrooge behind some Care Bears there. That Uncle Scrooge, the mini of him I got from New York Comic Con. That was an exclusive for them, and I just wanted every version of it. So I have one that's like huge, 10 inches, and then I have one that's like this big, and then I have one that's like that big. They did like a Disney afternoon set, which is really fun. I collect too many things. I'll just say that. Too many things.
I do too. Don't worry about it. You go to the other side of this room, you see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we were just going through some Funko Pops. I am about to just thin the herd a lot. Because I've got so many, I can't even keep them on the same floor as everything else. They have their own like area of the house. So the Funko Pops are about to get thinned. I gotta find somebody who buys collections. Take all of these, and there's like hundreds. There's hundreds. I'm not even kidding.
Yes.
I used to collect all of the ones that I could find. Now I just buy the one out of that set that I like. Like,
Yes.
like I like all the Avengers ones, but I'm not going to buy 100 Avengers pops if I just want the Iron Man pop,
Yeah.
Or
a lot of people get into like collecting them all and just have walls full of them. Sure.
I tried one time to have all of the Avengers Endgame ones. There's so many. Can't do it. There's too many. And there's too many that are spread out. Exclusives everywhere. Just can't. Oh. Yeah, I've got to get rid of... I've got a lot of Funko Pops. And I've got a lot of My Little Pony stuff, too. I used to collect that stuff. I've got a lot of My Little Pony stuff. Back before the toys got cool looking.
What's your favorite Care Bear?
My favorite Care Bear is Good Luck. I used to have a Good Luck bear when I was a kid.
Nice.
I have a little one of the new version now. This is I guess they redesigned them, I guess maybe a year or two ago. So now they look different. They have this like kind of very round shape.
Right.
They look very new. But when I was a kid, I used to have like all of them. The Care Bear Cousins were the best. I used to have the Swift Heart Rabbit. I carried that thing everywhere. Don't ask me where it is now. I have no idea. But yeah, I love Care Bears. I love all this cool retro stuff that's like new now. I like the G.I. Joe never kind of went away. It just was kind of always still there. The only thing I wish that they could get right is a Thundercats reboot. Give me a good Thundercats reboot. The anime one was okay, and I don't think it had long enough to warm up. But give me a good Thundercats reboot, not that Thundercats War business.
What did
Shots fired.
Think of? What do you think of the new He-Man?
Looks cool. I mean, I have to be able to see him in action first, but I think what I've seen so far looks really cool. I trust Kevin Smith to do right by the IP because that's kind of like his wheelhouse, right? He's kind of right in that age group where we are, where it's like we know, you guys are probably all younger than me. I don't know, but he's in that wheelhouse. I trust him. He better not betray me after I'm talking him up so good.
They're just going to resemble Tusk.
He won't care. He's just gonna,
Oh.
he's just, be like, I'm just antagonizing this woman, Trish. It's gonna be awful. But like the
So
She-Ra reboot went completely a way that I wasn't expecting, but it still was okay. Like it was still good. And it created a lot of inclusivity within that universe. I like that. Voltron reboot was really good. Did you guys see that one?
I haven't,
Yeah.
but I hear it's good. I need to because I love
Oh,
Voltron, so I
it
need
was
to
really
watch
good.
that.
Netflix
Yeah.
did an excellent job. They really did.
Yeah, the same studio that did The Last Airbender did that, I think.
Yeah.
So I like the animation quality that came out of that studio anyway. So the same team I think is involved. The styles look very similar. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender too. Not that movie though. That movie didn't happen.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, what?
What movie?
Exactly. 20 minutes of karaoke to float a boulder across this, or not karaoke, what dance troupe business to float a boulder across the screen? No thanks.
Big question is, did you like the Snyder Cut?
I don't think I have had time to watch any of that. That's like 4 hours or like half a day. You need like half a day solid. That's crazy. I liked Wonder Woman, but I didn't like the sequel. I mean, I think everybody feels that way. I don't think I'm the only one.
It was good, but it
Questionable.
could be better.
Yeah, I think they all could. Like, I don't think there's been a good Superman movie, like a really good Superman movie since the old days.
Yeah.
They try really hard. Henry Cavill had that weird mustache thing happening. Nobody could look away. You wanted to look away, but you couldn't. But yeah, I think overall, I balance between either I watch too much or I don't watch enough. So it's kind of like, I think I watch a normal amount.
So, not being a fan of horror and gore and that, have you been watching The Walking Dead at all?
No.
No.
Oh, it's just really funny because I feel like I might be the last person on the planet to like watch it. Like, first of all, everybody, like, I would always watch like Talking Dead and stuff like that came on after the show was on. All right, I'll be out, whoever that is. Jeez. But yeah, I would watch like Talking Dead and stuff. I didn't mind it if that got spoiled for me. Like, everybody was like, if so and so died or so and so this one, we riot, and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know who those people are. It's fine. I didn't watch like any of that. I like all the covers that come from it. I like this Negan guy. He's pretty, like, a dark character. At least as far as I've seen. I like the artwork that's come out because of him. Like there's like a Negan cover for that looked really cool. That I only bought because of the cover.
Right.
Like, how you say you don't buy things because of just the cover. I did that.
Yeah. Cover by.
I'm not afraid. Sometimes
We're all guilty. About it.
Yeah, like, not gonna lie, like, I bought like 3 covers for Beast Wars, just that one issue.
Yeah, see, and you're just like, one to read, one to keep in the flask, one to send up maybe for a slab. I don't know. One to have signed by everybody on the planet. I don't know.
I mean, cover buys. Talking about cover buys. I own these 3 issues 3 times. So there goes there.
We actually have a little fan group on Facebook, which is really cool. There's a Stray Dogs fan group on Facebook. It was started by a fan of the book, and it was really cool to see that. I've never had a fan group of anything I've done. Nobody's been that big a fan of me. See, everybody's guilty of the cover buy.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, there's a cover artist, like, is there a cover artist whose covers you buy exclusively? Like, if you would just, like, say you see the Frizzen covers, that recently came out, did you buy every one of those because it was a Frizzen cover, or did you, do you pass, or if there's, like, a Perio cover that you don't have, Do you get upset because you don't have that cover, or are you that big a fan of that person? You know?
Oh, I with Harley Quinn coming out with all those Chew variants, I
Yeah,
have
the
to get
Chew
all
ones.
those Chew variants for them.
Those are hot. I need the B cover for, and they're like $1 more expensive. The B covers, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Maybe he charges a lot of money for.
I think they're cardstock.
Maybe. I've got the first two. I need to get the third one. The third one was really cool looking. And it's not because I'm buying them because the covers are cool. I like Harley. I like it when she's by herself or when she's with Ivy. I don't really care. As long as she's not with the Joker, that relationship makes me sad.
Yeah,
So are you
I buy
enjoying the
Alex Ross.
Magistrate?
Oh.
What was that?
The Magistrate that's inside Harley Quinn, like how that's forming in the background?
Yeah, I mean, I know I haven't caught up on all of it yet because who has time to read everything? But I like it when there's like mystery behind the scenes. Aw, thank you, Mr. Comic Bro. That's awesome. But yeah, I like it when there's like dark mystery in the background, like things happening in the background while you're reading your issue and you're thinking, oh, this character is going along about their business. Then you see a scene and you can play it out in your head like you're watching a movie. I like it when stuff like that happens. And I feel like it's happening a lot in that book. Same as with ours.
Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff
Definitely.
happening in the background. You just don't know. And then you'll hit it later, like you'll get to a page and you'll be like, oh my God, wait, did I see this before? And you have to go get your other books out. I love stories like that. But a lot of times, and I'm guilty of that too, is that I'll wait for the trade so I can just read straight through. A lot of people are doing that for the Stray Dogs too. They're waiting for the trade so they can read straight through. I'm like, sucker, go buy the rest of them. It's cool when it's mine. It's cool when it's mine. Go buy the rest of them.
Bearded Comic Bro actually had Tony Fleece on his channel as well.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Tony does a lot, man. He's just like on all the time. I don't know when that guy sleeps. I barely know when I sleep. It's getting to be about time for me to go to bed, but I'm not sure where you guys are in the country, or well, you're in Canada, right?
We're in New York.
I'm
Me
the
and Phable.
far east of Canada, so it's like almost 12 here.
Damn. Sorry, man.
No, it's all good.
I'm just talking too much and keeping you up too late.
No.
It's almost 11 here, so I'm not far off from you. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, in case anybody cares.
Okay.
We'll wrap it up here pretty soon. Like, do you guys have any further questions, or anybody in the chat? Do you guys have any questions for Trish? Get them out now, and we'll be wrapping up here in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and if there's anything you think of later, just, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'll answer you.
That's a lie. I do sleep.
You just power down, You just power down for a little while.
Yeah.
Power nap, and then rally.
Yeah, any
So,
kind
I
of.
guess my last.
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying my last question would be, what are you watching now? Anything you're watching now that you would want us to watch?
I'm just hyping Lucifer right now because, I just watch that show a lot. I actually will binge that show because I'm a huge jerk, and I will just go and re-binge that show all the way. I did it before they dropped the first part of season 5, and I did it again. Now I have to watch the second part of season 5. Like, I'll watch the whole show again just to keep the mythos straight. And
the part where he comes in is just crazy. Like, his brother comes, and it's like his twin brother, and it's Michael. Like, that's spoilers.
And he plays the same character, and I'm like, God, you can't even tell. Like, it looks like they're two different people in the same scene. It's bananas.
And they have, like, one has English accent, one has just a British accent. Like,
Yep.
he changes his accent up on that. I'm like, that's amazing.
He's a good actor. Like, I only knew him from like comedy stuff. But he can sing and play the piano and all that cool stuff. I'm like, holy moly, he's very talented. They did a musical episode, I hear, in this. I'm like, I can hang with the musical episodes. I love episodes that do stuff like that. I used to watch a show called Castle. It was on for 8 seasons. Had Nathan Fillion in it. They made a whole bunch of jokes about as reference to Firefly. Thank you. I don't mind hanging out and BS, and that's all I'm good at. I used to watch Castle back in the day. I'll follow anything Nathan Fillion does pretty much. He's on a show now called The Rookie, but I did not watch that show because it conflicted with my work schedules between both the book and day job stuff. I have to sleep sometime.
Yeah. I had a question. I always ask this to creators. Not that I had a lot of shows with creators, but I'm a huge fan of crossovers. That's why I got the Gauntlet back there.
I love crossover stuff.
Yes. So you did My Little Pony and Transformers. Is there any crossover in your head that you would like to tackle?
I was wondering why they never did like a Gem and the Holograms in My Little Pony crossover.
Yes.
Maybe. Because, I mean,
Yes.
I think Hasbro owns them both. I think that the only reason the crossover stuff takes so long, or it doesn't meet everybody's like headcanon, is because it takes so much licensing and work to get to work with that other IP. So you've got like even the My Little Pony Transformers crossover took a lot of legwork behind the scenes to get the companies to agree, to get the properties to agree. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, you used to have, I think they still do it, but when you would go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal, you had a choice between, they called it the boys' toy and the girls' toy at the time, but it was, you know, it was like a car or a Barbie or whatever. I like that stuff. Put them both together. Why not both? Right? Why not both? I do that a lot. Like, but yeah, I would do like a Pony Gem crossover, but I think they already kind of sort of did that when they did the like Equestria Girls thing where they were basically Bratz dolls come to life. I don't know. I didn't mind Equestria Girls either. It's just not my jam. But yeah, I mean, and if I had my way, I'd like to see like more like I want DC and Marvel to do crossover stuff. I don't know. I think that would be cool. Like, who doesn't want to see like Batman and Tony Stark hang out? They're basically the same dude.
Yeah.
I want to see them like have a, you know, like a wealth measuring contest. You know, based on how much tech they have.
That's 2 huge egos right there, though. Whoa.
They don't have a book big enough. It would have to be like that thick. Encyclopedia. I think that would be cool. I don't know. But I'm open to pitches. Like, I draw my characters in other people's universes. I'll draw other characters. Like, I'll draw other universe characters as ponies or, you know, in my universe, I was laughing because, like, you know, I'd like to see, like, this Good Boy thing. If that comic takes off, I would like to see, like, a Stray Dogs Good Boy crossover. That'd be badass. I mean, like, to me, that would be really cool. Like, suddenly, you know, like, Rusty, you know, he just takes out, like, 50 guys on his way to killing the Master. That'd be cool. You know? I don't know. Just like ninjas come out of nowhere. He has to get through all of them to get to the Master, some sort of higher up syndicate thing. I don't know. But it would be really cool and really neat to see. I don't know. I like crossovers. It lets your mind go. It's like a sandbox thing.
He could team up with John Wick, you know? They go
Right, exactly. He could team up with the John Wick dog. Going on rampage.
Good one.
But the Good Boy, that comic is looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's, you know, it's the idea is that, you know, like the dog's owner was killed in a home invasion, so the dog goes bananas and kills everybody. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
that sounds awesome.
The cover, the dog's got like a suit on and he's got a gun, and I'm like, what is this? It's ridiculous, and I love it.
Ridiculous.
But
It's
who
fun.
doesn't? Oh yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for having me on. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me talk for a long, long time.
No,
Yeah,
thanks for coming
pleasure.
and talking for a very long
Yeah,
time. This was
yeah, thanks for having
awesome.
And thanks for listening to us, audience. Subscribe for more cool content.
No,
Well,
And
thank
be sure
you.
to like
Thank
and
you.
subscribe and ding, ding, ding that notification bell for future videos.
Don't they
And if you
say,
guys
like,
are watching,
smash the like button?
you guys are watching this on the rewind, thank you guys for watching it all the way through. This was amazing. I loved having Trish here. I loved having my two best brothers here with me while we sit down with you, and it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
Phenomenal. And
I'll come
thank
back
you
on
for this.
again.
Thank you for this, man. We
Oh,
loving it.
man.
We really are. We're not just saying that. We really love it, man.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm glad you guys
we were
liked
pumped
it.
all week.
Oh, it's. I thought about you guys, and then I thought, man, why didn't I make this earlier? I completely forgot today was a holiday. I should have made it earlier. But then I was like, oh, cookout. Let's go. I gotta, I had some barbecue and stuff. It was really nice. But it's really cool hanging out. I'm glad you guys reached out, and if you want to have me on again, let me know.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
definitely,
Station.
definitely.
Yeah, station. I can do that too now. I'm
Yeah.
in. I'm in the in joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Trish
it.
Forstner, a friend of my show now. Said it here
Friend of the
first.
show.
Yeah. If you guys
All-
want me to come on again, I'll be back.
Her Instagram and Twitter
Awesome.
is down in the description below, and make sure to join me Wednesday when I'll be sitting down with my boy from Dylan's Horror Show for Chatting with the Comic Community, episode 7 with Dylan, and then I have another creator coming on from a Kickstarter called Spider Squirrel, and I will
Oh,
be
that was
joined
fun.
with Nick Comic Culture, and my boy Missing Link will be my co-host for that night.
Nice.
Sweet.
But I'd like to say thank you, the bottom of my heart, for stopping by and just making this night like fan freaking tastic.
Thanks for having me on. I'd come back anytime.
All right.
Hope to see you guys at a con one day. That'd be cool.
Oh,
That would be cool.
Station. Yes. Come to New York. You got two guys here that are in
Well, at
New
least
York.
New York's
So
not as far away from me as Canada is. Of course.
And I'm on that little island that they like to call Krakoa. So,
Oh, cool.
all right, guys, stay nerdy, my friends, and station.
Station.
Station.